This is why you don't have any friends. It's more than just you're kind of a bit shy. It's more than just you don't like anyone in your year group, you don't like anyone in your class. There's probably a deeper reason to it, and I'm going to explain why. Number one, you can't open up. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone where you're the only one asking questions? Like, you're speaking to someone and it doesn't seem like they're interested in you. Like, you're the one asking questions, digging deeper, finding out more about them, and they just don't seem to be interested in you. At first, I thought it was just, oh, I'm really interested in that person. I'm a curious person. I want to find out more about them. But then when I really sat with it and I thought about it, I was like, am I just asking them questions so that I can avoid talking about myself and opening up? Like, have a proper think about it. Sometimes the reason why you're always the one that is finding out about them and getting them to open up is because you can't open up yourself. This might not apply to everyone. I'm sure some of you guys are like amazing conversationalists and you're just so good at getting people to open up. But then for me, I feel like it was maybe more a way of escaping for me to open up. This is a reason why you might not have any friends, because if you think about it, if you can't open up, people don't know the real you. You're introverted. As an introvert myself, this is definitely a trap sometimes when it comes to making friends. It's all fun and games when you like your own company and you like spending time by yourself. You just want to have the evenings to yourself to do what you want to do. But then it kind of becomes like an excuse. Like, you aren't going to go out and meet new people and like try new things because you're an introvert. Like, don't use that label to hold you back. An introvert, in my opinion, is someone who likes spending time on their own, but can also go out and spend time with other people. As an introvert myself, I think in the past I used the label introvert to stop me from thinking that I needed friends. Like, I was like, I like spending time by myself, I like being on my own, I like doing my own thing. But if you think like that for too long, fast forward a few years, you're going to be grown up and have no friends. I think you can switch introversion on and off. Like, sometimes I'm 100% an introvert, I just want to stay at home and do my own thing. But then sometimes when I'm around my friends, I'm like, no, I'm so extroverted, I'm so outgoing, I want to do this, I want to do that. Just because you're an introvert now doesn't mean that you'll be an introvert forever. You can dip in and out of it, and I definitely think you should if you want to make more friends, because you never know, you might make friends with other introverts who also want to do introverted things with you. Number 3, you don't put yourself first. It's such a paradox, but people don't like you because you're nice. People like you because you respect yourself. I made the biggest mistake back in the day when I was in high school, where I was like being overly nice to everyone and just doing anything and everything that everyone else wanted. I wasn't doing what I wanted. I was just, I'll do this to make her happy. I'll do this to make my teacher happy. I'll do this so that she likes me. I'll wear this so he likes me. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I was just doing so much so that other people would like me. And that actually doesn't attract friends. Like, that doesn't attract anyone. Like, people only like you when you do your own thing and do what makes you happy. It's the cringiest thing ever, but it's true. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that being nice and being positive and just making everyone else happy but yourself will bring in friendships, because it just does not. You have to start with yourself first. If you put yourself first, then I promise the friendships will follow. This one is the one that I struggle with the most. Number 4 is you lack confidence. This is just social anxiety 101. I could spend so much time talking about this. In school, I literally had such bad social anxiety. I didn't even stay in school during lunch or break time. Like, when everyone had their meals, got like a drink, had toast, had a sandwich, I would literally go home. Like, I would literally leave the school. I did not even want to be in the cafeteria. I didn't want to be in the lunch area around lots of different people talking about the weekend, the parties. I literally left the school just so that I could like feel more comfortable and not have like that socially anxious feeling. You can be socially anxious for lots of different reasons. For me, it was definitely like I just lacked confidence in who I was. I didn't feel safe around the people around me in school. I didn't feel like they liked me. And then I literally just ran with that, and I was like, oh, no one wants to be friends with me. No one's going to want to be my friend ever. I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be lonely. Like, we've all been there. Like, your thoughts just go wild. So it's easy to see why, if you have social anxiety or if you lack confidence, self-esteem, you're gonna have no friends. The thing about being socially anxious is you're convinced that you need to be someone else in order to make friends. Like, you need to be more cool, be more attractive, be funnier. You think that like you making friends, you have to like transform into someone else. And I promise you that's not true. As someone who's had social anxiety and battled with it for so long, I promise you there's no person that you need to become to make friends. Like, you already have all the positive traits that friends want. You're just like lacking confidence a little bit to get those friends. Social anxiety isn't just something that stops you from making friends, but it stops you from being yourself. You're too scared to show your real personality because you're scared of what people think. In a way, social anxiety is just living life for other people or not for yourself. It's kind of like looking in like a really warped mirror. You know those mirrors where it like makes you curvy or makes you super like bendy and whatever? It's kind of like looking in those mirrors and being like, oh, that's who I am. You believe all these negative things that aren't true, like I'm lonely, no one likes me, I don't have any friends, I'm never gonna have any friends, and you think that that's true, but it's so not. It's just the way that you're looking at yourself. And if I had to wrap up all of these points and sum it into one, that would be the main reason why you don't have any friends is because you can't be yourself. No one wants to be friends with a shell of a person that doesn't actually have any substance within them. And before you say, I don't have a personality, I'm so boring, I don't have anything to say, yes, you do have a personality. That was me before. I was convinced that I'm not entertaining, I'm not funny, I'm not interesting, I'm not any of these things. But you definitely are. You're just around the wrong people that are making you think those things. When you're around the right people who are just equally as boring or equally as uninteresting, I promise you, you'll feel like you have something to offer and you'll feel like you have something of value, especially when you're in school and the person who's considered the funniest is just really the loudest person, or the person who's the most entertaining is just the person making the most inappropriate jokes. Like, of course you're not going to feel like you're interesting or funny because you're around the wrong people. But I promise you, as you get older, you'll definitely be able to see more people who are kind of like you. No matter your reason for not having any friends, when I look back on my experience at school of a solid 5-6 years of not having any like super close friends or like a close friendship group, I honestly look back at that time and I'm kind of glad that I didn't, which I know sounds wild because it's such a lonely time and it can be such a depressing time as well. But that was the time when I realized like I've got no one else around me to dictate what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of just like be myself in my own little corner as an introvert by myself. Sometimes friendship groups can be amazing because you've got people around you who love you and support you. But then sometimes if they're planting little seeds of negativity and like doubting you and saying you can't do that, who do you think you are to do this? You've changed your style, you've dyed your hair, and they're just like making fun of you. Like, friendships aren't always positive. Sometimes they can be quite negative. And I've had my fair share of these, like toxic friendships where people aren't being very nice and supportive. And if anything, they're just rubbing off negativity on you. I know it's so tough when you're going through like a lonely patch because I feel like it comes in phases. You have them in school, then in uni you make friends, but then you go through a lonely patch again at uni, probably when you graduate as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, life is kind of like that. You go through patches of loneliness, friendship. But what I would say is, in your loneliness period, as tough as it is, just remember that you might be hoping and dreaming of friendships and friendship groups, people around you. It's not always positive. You're not necessarily missing out on something amazing. You might be dodging a bullet, if anything. When I think back to some of the friendships I've had, there were definitely some that I would wipe out if I could. Like, that friendship offered me nothing but just like self-doubt and like making me feel worse about myself. There's not a single thing wrong with feeling lonely or having no friends. The only thing wrong with it is just the shame around it and the way that people make you feel bad if you have got no friends. There's such a stigma around it that there's something wrong with you if you don't have any friends. If you made it this far into the video, this is your reminder that no matter what you are going through, loneliness, friendships, toxic friendships, I promise you, you are not alone. Bye.